Welcome to What If Disney, the place where we talk about all the rides we hope to see come to the Disney parks in the near future. My name is Connor, and today I will be your host as we discuss one of my personal favorite Disney films, Moana. Moana officially debuted in theaters on November 23rd of 2016, and like many others, I quickly fell in love with this movie along with its iconic soundtrack. Although not as popular as Disney's Frozen, Coco, or Zootopia, which were all released around the same time, Disney's Moana was still able to rack up an impressive $643 million in box office sales. Now with this said, there has surprisingly been no official character setup or attraction in Walt Disney World. Moana has only made temporary appearances such as in Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Parade back in 2017. However, this has not stopped the die-hard Disney fans to stop speculating of what might come in the future. Today, I'm going to share with you my top 3 suggestions for how Walt Disney World could implement Moana into their theme parks. The first suggestion is to update/replace the Enchanted Tiki Room with a Moana themed show. Now, though this is not my favorite suggestion, I think it would fit perfectly in the Adventureland scenery. I think Moana has that spirit throughout the movie, the adventure inside her that's calling her. I think this would be the perfect place for the Moana attraction to go, right in the middle of Adventureland. That's where she's been seen periodically, although she doesn't have a permanent appearance yet. I think this would be the perfect place, although not my favorite option. The second suggestion, probably the most talked about and the most popular, is a volcano-themed ride. In the final scene of Moana, they have Te-Kā. They're fighting Te-Kā, and it's like a big volcano that comes to life. If you're not familiar, and it would be a great concept for a thrill ride, like an action ride, almost that of Expedition Everest. I really like this idea. I would love to see it come to life. Some of the pros is, like I said, like it would be straight from that final scene of Moana where they're fighting and it's a thrill and the action and everything. I think the people would really love to see this come to Walt Disney World. I think there's a lot of things you could implement into this ride, like in Expedition Everest, where you're seeing the shadows of the Yeti. You could kind of do that with Maui and Moana. It would be really cool to kind of bring that to life. Some parks are really need a really big attraction right now, and so I think they could kind of figure that out. And this is the most popular, but it's not my favorite. Some of the cons, it would be a very, very expensive project, and Moana was one of their best-selling movies, but it was definitely not the greatest. And if you see some of the projects they've given for Frozen and some of their other movies, they're not getting this big of a project. So I don't know how realistic this is. It would be very difficult to build and sustain for such a long period of time. And like I said, it's extremely specific for one movie to go into that big park. So I don't see how plausible this option is, but definitely a great idea, and it would be awesome to see if it were to come to life for us Moana-loving fans. Now for the third and my personal favorite option for the Moana-themed attraction would be what I call Maui's Shape-Shifting Adventure. Essentially what it would be is it would be very similar to the Avatar's Flight of Passage, kind of the Soarin' concept, where you're not really moving, but you have that kind of experience where it feels like you're moving and it feels like you're in a whole new world. And just my thoughts on it, and I kind of thought this up by myself. It would be kind of when the first scene in Moana where Maui is going to steal the heart. He's how he's shape shifting and he's going under all the trees and he turns into a bug, and then he turns into a hawk to get away, and all these different animals Maui is able to shape shift into with his hook. You would be able to go on that journey with him and follow him, and so you would be experiencing all this, and then it would feel like you're running with Maui, and then he turns into a bug and you turn into a bug with him and you're crawling and you can feel all these things in the wind. And then you turn into a hawk and you fly and you soar and you see all the ocean in front of you. And I think it would be a really cool experience. Obviously, just like the previous one, it would be a pretty costly project, but I think it wouldn't be as big of a scale as the volcano ride, just because you don't need as much space. It's not going to take as long to construct, I don't think. I think this would be a more plausible, and I think a lot of people would love to see this, as I think roller coasters and the other attractions are starting to go towards this kind of AR, kind of real life experience. And I think the people are really starting to buy into that. If you go to Universal, I mean, people love all the rides with the AR. So I think this is a really viable option, and if maybe not something exactly like this, but I think Disney's definitely going to start going more towards these AR kind of real life experiences. So I think that would be a great idea for Disney to implement, especially given the how big Moana has been and how many people are wishing and dying to see it come to the parks permanently, not just as a temporary kind of thing. So those are my ideas, and let me know what you guys think in the comments down below, and thanks for watching.